Hello, my name is Leo and welcome to another reading of the Elder Scrolls. Today we're going to be reading The Fall of the Snow Prince by... doesn't say who it's by. An account of the Battle of the Morse Ring as transpired by Lokium, chronicler of the chieftain Ignigar White-Eye. From whence he came we did not know, but into the battle he rode on a brilliant steed of pallid white. Elf we called him, for elf he was, yet unlike any other of his kind we had ever seen before that day. His spear and armour bore the radiant and terrible glow of unknown magicka, and so adorned this unknown rider seemed more white than warrior. What troubled, nay frightened us most at the moment was the call that rose from the elven ranks. It was not fear, not wonder, but unabashed and unbridled joy, the kind of felicity felt by a damned man who has been granted a second chance at life. For at that time the elves were as damned and near death as ever they had been during the great skirmishes of Solstheim. The Battle of Morse Ring was to be the final stand between Nord and Elf on our fair island, led by Ysgramor. Oh, really? We had driven the... Oh, this is back then, okay. We had driven the Elven Scourge from Skyrim. Yes? Next page, please. Right. And were intent on cleansing Solstheim of their kind as well. Our warriors, armed with the finest axes and swords Nord's craftsmen could forge, which quite frankly isn't all that good really, cut great swaths through the enemy ranks. The slopes of the Morse Ring ran red with elf blood. Ooh. Why then would our foe rejoice? Could one rider bring such hope to an army so helpless? Possibly. To most of our kind, the meaning of the call was clear, but the words were but a litany of elven chants and cries. There were some among us, however, the scholars and chroniclers, who knew well the words and shuddered at their significance. The Snow Prince has come! Doom is at hand! There was then a great calm that overcame the elves that still stood. Through their mass a Snow Prince did ride, and as the longboat slices the icy waters of the Falging... Wait, why would a longboat be in Falging? Isn't Falging an enclosed area? I think there's rivers that go there. Actually, I'm gonna check. Okay, we interrupt this book reading to go to Solstheim. Oh, I can just look at it here. I know it does. Okay, you can actually ride a boat all the way up the river. I don't know why you would bother, but you could do it if you really felt like it. Sure. Where was I? He parted the ranks of his kin. The magnificent white horse slowed to a gallop, then a trot, and the unknown elf rider moved to the front of the line at a slow, almost ghost-like pace. A Nord warrior sees much in a life of bloodshed and battle, and is rarely surprised by anything armed combat may bring. But few among us that day could have imagined the awe and uncertainty of a raging battlefield that all at once went motionless and silent. Such is the effect of the Snow Prince. Such is the effect the Snow Prince had on all of us. On us all. Whatever, who cares? For when the joyous cries of the elves had ended, there remained a quiet known only in the solitude of slumber. It was then our combined host, elf and Nord alike, were joined in a terrible understanding. Victory or defeat mattered little on that day on the slopes of the Morse Ring Mountains. The one truth we all shared was that death would come to many that day, victor and vanquished alike. The glorious Snow Prince, an elf unlike any other, did come that day to bring death to our kind, and death he so brought. Like a sudden, violent snow squall that rends travellers blind and threatens to tear loose the very foundations of the sturdiest hall. The Snow Prince did sweep into our numbers. Indeed, the ice and snow did begin to swirl and churn about the elf, as if called upon to serve his bidding. The spitting of that gleaming spear whistled a dirge into all who would stand in the way of the Snow Prince, and our mightiest fell before him that day. Ulfki Anvilhand, Strom the White, Fredia Oakenwand, Heimdall the Frenzied. Heimdall? Yeah, that's what it said. All lay dead at the foot of the Morsring Mountains. I wonder if any of those people are in Skyrim. I have a feeling that the Snow Elf they're referring to is the Snow Elf from the Vampire DLC of Skyrim. The Vampire, you know what I'm talking about. I do. The Dawn Guard DLC. Wasn't there a snow elf in that? Yeah, but was he the Snow Prince? I don't know. For the first time that day, it seemed the tide of battle had actually turned. The elves, spurred on by the deeds of the Snow Prince, rallied together for one last charge against our ranks. It was then, in a single instant, that the Battle of Morsring came to a sudden, unexpected end. Fina, daughter of Jofia, a lass of only 12 years and squire to her mother, watched as the Snow Prince cut down her only parent. In her rage and sorrow, Finna picked up Joffrey's sword and threw it savagely at her mother's killer. When the elf's gleaming spear stopped its deadly dance, the battlefield fell silent, and all eyes turned to the Snow Prince. Wait, did the Snow Prince die? She killed the Snow Prince? Oh, good job. No one that day was more surprised than the elf himself at the sight that greeted them all. For upon his great steed, the Snow Prince still sat, the sword of Joffrey buried deeply in his breast, and then he fell from his horse, from the battle, from life. The Snow Prince lay dead, slain by a child. With their saviour defeated, the spirit of the remaining elven warriors soon shattered. Many fled, and those that remained on the battlefield were soon cut down by our broad and gnawed axes. When the day was done, all that remained was the carnage of the battlefield. And from that battlefield came a dim reminder of valor and skill, for the brilliant armor and spear of the Snow Prince still shined, even in death. This mighty and unknown elf filled us with awe. It is common practice to burn the corpses of our fallen enemies. This is as much a necessity as it is a custom, for death brings with it disease and dread. Our chieftains wished to cleanse Solstheim of the elven horde, in death as well as life. It was decided, however, that such was not to be the fate of the Snow Prince. One so mighty in war, yet so loved by his kin, deserved better, even in death, even if an enemy of our people. And so we brought the body of the Snow Elf, wrapped in fine silks, to a freshly dug barrow. The gleaming armour and spear were preserved on a pedestal of honour, and the tomb was arrayed with treasures worthy of royalty. All of the mighty chieftains agreed with this course, that the elf should be preserved, his body would be preserved in the barrow for as long as the earth chose, but would not be offered the protection of our Saurim, which was reserved for Nord dead alone. So ends this account of the Battle of Morsring and the fall of the magnificent elven Snow Prince. May our gods honour him in death, and may we never meet his kind again in life. Okay, that was the fall of the Snow Prince. I'm going to add to this. I need to save the game. I Yeah, whatever. Save the game. Really? Yeah, that's fine. But what I am going to do is I'm going to recall. This is going to be a little bonus. A little bit of a bonus. Book rating. Because I want to travel to the Morrowind Mountains. Shouldn't we do that in an actual episode? Maybe. But I want to do it now. And also, I have the wind form. So I can do it really quickly. Stop it. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Okay, stop it. When does this run out? I think it's 60 seconds. You'll make it. So, are you implying that there is some kind of a burrow in the Morrowind Mountains that I could go and... Have I been there before? I don't know, have you? No, I've never been there before. Well, maybe I'll go there eventually. Right now, though, I want to go over to... Let's have a look. What's over here? Is there anything over here? It looks a bit like a dead end, but... I'll give it an honest look. What was that? There was a beast there. There's an enemy over there. So what? Oh, it's about to run out. Your wind form ran out. That's fine, because I got another one. Good point. Are there any... No, nothing going on over here? I really want to say there's a dungeon here. I mean, there probably is. Oh. Wartrag Glacier, maybe? Possibly. Can you see anything on the map? No. Not really, no. That's the castle. Can I fly to the top of it? You can, but there's no point doing that. What is that? It's a bear. Yeah, right. Go back to the whatever it was, the glacier. Yes. What am I looking for? I don't really know. Something underwater, perhaps? Ah, shit, right now. Yeah, I don't really... Maybe there is. Maybe there is something here. But, I'm clearly not going to find it today. Well, I'll have a... Yeah, I think I might actually, yeah, I'll look up a map. We'll see. If there's something there, we'll check it out in a future episode, when I'm in Solstheim. Sometime in the future. But for now, my name is Leo, and I will see you next time. Not gonna fight you, buddy.